This is undoubtedly the most intense zombie thriller of the year. Non-stop adrenaline from start to finish. Every frame pushing your endurance to the limit. At the same time, it's the long-awaited closure veteran fans have anticipated for 18 years. Without further ado, let's begin. When the zombie virus suddenly erupted across England, residents were slaughtered before they could even react. A young boy witnessed his mother and sister die horrifically, then frantically ran to his father for help. That was his dad, but his father claimed the infected had gained eternal life, pressing a cross pendant into his son's hands. The priest then spread his arms, awaiting death. Hiding in the sewers, the boy watched his father transform into one of the undead. 28 years later, this land has become a complete undead wasteland. Only a handful of survivors endure on desolate islands far offshore. Though life is harsh, they remain mercifully free from the virus. Young Parker visits his long-bedridden mother, secretly leaving her precious smoked meat he'd saved. He tells her he must undertake the land trial, though she fiercely objects, too ill to prevent it. It's the island's ancient right. Every boy must journey to land and slay a crawler before manhood. Father Jamie strongly endorses this tradition, eager for his son to prove himself. Amid the gathered islanders' farewell, Jamie leads his son to the island's sole exit. Guards confirm safety, then unbar the heavy gates. A path glimmers on the water's surface. This hidden causeway, the low-tide passage, usually lies submerged, passable only during low tide. Jamie gauged the sky. Tide would surge within 4 hours. Must hunt a crawler and return before then. Coastal trees were all felled, our island's primary fuel source. They scaled the highest bluff unawares. Pike's first glimpse of such vast wilderness. Walk for months, Jamie chuckled, and you'd lose sight of shore. Yuanwen Yuyi, Hebing would swallow them. Jamie gestured ahead. Legendary crawlers lurk there, feed on roots and insects. Weak spot. Pike's first real encounter. Nervousness prickled his skin. Jimmy coached achevy technique unawa of the crawler approaching behind. Pike knocked an arrow, pierced the neck true. Another crawler rose. Jamie put it down instantly. Fine shot, son. Jamie beamed. Still early. I'll show you mainland horrors. Beasts unseen on our island. Meaning? A derelict house emerged unexpectedly. Looted clean long ago. Just a weathered frisbee remained. Scratching from within, they crept closer. Found crows feasting on a suspended corpse. Why treat our kind thus? Pike wondered. Mainland breeds madmen, Jamie warned. That's why our island's precious. Put this infected down, Jamie ordered before leaving. Constant bloodshed is the only way to force rapid growth. After leaving the cabin, they're ready to head back to the island. But Jamie spots fresh blood. On a nearby tree, a deer's severed head hangs. He figures this is the work of an alpha zombie, far more dangerous than the crawlers they've faced. Jamie tenses up, but his fear becomes reality as he spots a horde emerging in the distance. Jamie curses under his breath, dragging his son into the woods. These zombies move like beasts, unervingly resilient. Jamie frantically looses arrows, but Parker's hands tremble, rendering him useless in the fight. He retreats with Parker, barricading themselves back in the cabin. They scramble into the rooftop attic, barely evading the undead onslaught. As sunset traps them inside, Jamie explains. These alphas possess cunning intelligence. With arrows nearly gone, they must wait out the siege. No island return tonight. At nightfall, Pike spots lights on the water. Jamie calls them makeshift patrols from overseas. But the boy's drawn to forest fireworks instead. Jamie's eyes dart, claiming ignorance. A sudden quake jolts them away. Wild animals stampede past. The decaying cabin groans, threatening collapse. Jamie bolts outside with Parker. Terrified alphas will come, without even catching his breath. Then he led Pike toward the coastline. Unfortunately, it's not low tide now. They simply can't cross the sea. Jamie couldn't wait any longer. He calculated the time, guessing the tide had started to recede. As long as the water didn't rise past their knees, they could make it back to the island. Halfway across, with no zombies chasing them, both father and son breathed a sigh of relief. But just as they began to celebrate, a flock of birds flew overhead. Jimmy sensed danger. He looked back and spotted a zombie approaching in the distance. He frantically yelled at Pike to run, but trapped in the water, they couldn't move fast enough. As the zombie closed in, Jamie desperately shouted an alert. Guards at the gate heard the commotion and immediately activated the island's defenses. Several volleys of arrows finally took down the island's leader carefully checked Jamie and his son for infection before slowly opening the gate to let them in. With his trial completed, Pike became the center of attention. Jamie swelled with pride for his son. As the celebration wound down, Pike noticed his father was missing. Searching outside, he stumbled upon Jamie with a local woman. Deeply shaken, the boy ran straight home, where his grandfather waited up to hear about his adventure. Pike described the vast hills first, then the unervingly fast zombies. But when he mentioned the fire southwest in the forest, his grandfather's expression darkened. He said it might be Kells, once a well-known local doctor. Pike was puzzled. Why would his father hide the doctor's existence? Grandpa said with lingering fears that that person was very strange. Jamie didn't say it. He must have a point. But Pike kept this in mind until the next day. When Jamie returns, he confronts the other party in person about why he is hiding the doctor's existence. Don't you want to take your mother to treat her illness? Jamie quickly explained that the doctor was crazy. Many years ago, when he went outside to find food, inadvertently smelled a strong stench. As far as the eye could see, the grass was full of corpses. For some reason, the doctor was burning the corpses one by one. Jamie thought he must have gone crazy and had not looked for each other for more than 10 years. However, Pike had another layer of concern in his mind. He felt that his father was deliberately waiting for his mother to die. Then he was openly with the village flowers. Jamie was told that he was the center of the matter and immediately slapped his son. Tek cried and ran back to his mother. He felt that only his mother loved him the most in this world. You can't let the other person die of illness no matter what. A bold idea flashed in my head. Early the next morning, Tek secretly set fire to a wooden house. He ran to inform the city gate guards in a panic and asked a few people to go back and put out the fire. Just let him take care of it here. So, just like that, Jamie left the island with his mother. The purpose is naturally to find a doctor to see him. My mother's condition is very strange, and she often has a fever. Intermittently, he will also be delirious. But as long as she doesn't get sick, she is no different from a normal person. Although he was very angry about his son's risky move. But now the sea tide can't go back. She could only follow the other party to the doctor. On the first night, Pike followed his father's instructions, preparing to spend the night inside a building. He urged his mother to rest while he stood guard outside. But nearing midnight, Parker accidentally fell asleep. A crawler slowly approached, first instinctively tasting his shoelaces before moving towards Parker's. Suddenly, Parker jolted awake from deep sleep, finding a zombie corpse on the ground. His mother had killed it during the night. They resumed their journey toward the smoke signal. During her episodes, Mother grew delirious, the bouts occurring close together. Deep concern filled Parker's eyes, especially when her nose began bleeding this time. As he moved to wipe it, a zombie emerged from the rapeseed field. Parker fired his bow, the noise drawing more zombies. Mother and son fled desperately, reaching a gas station, only to find their pursuers multiplying. Parker forced open a door reeking of pungent fumes, too desperate to kill. But as zombies breached the room, they were trapped. A skylight burst open overhead. They hit the floor. Just as flames engulfed the space, they narrowly survived, saved by a foreign soldier. He explained the building was rigged with gas as an anti-zombie trap. Learning of their quest for the doctor, the soldier offered to provide an escort. Parker inquired about his origins. The soldier identified himself as Dutch Contagion Containment. His ship capsized during routine patrol days prior. His unit was stranded on this coast after surviving multiple waves of zombie attacks. He is now the only survivor. It was then that Pike grasped a harsh truth. His nation was completely quarantined. Foreign patrols monitored the surrounding waters, intent on preventing any escape. As the trio walked, nearing their destination, Pike's mother broke away, approaching a derelict train car. Drawn by distant screams from within, she discovered a pregnant zombie in labor. Pike's mother set aside prejudice, assisting the birth. But a soldier arrived and shot the zombie dead. The uninfected infant survived as Pike shielded his mother. As the soldier hesitated, a massive hand yanked him upward. Moments later, the soldier was decapitated. The infant's zombie father had arrived. Pike rushed his mother from the car when suddenly, arrows struck, instantly putting the zombie to sleep. The archer was the doctor Pike sought. These arrows, he explained, are tipped with tranquilizers for temporary unconsciousness. They followed the doctor to a hilltop, studded with chilling bone. Passing through, they reached the center, where a tower of skulls stood. As Pike and his mother stared, the doctor took the soldier's head, boiled it in a special cauldron, and extracted a skull. Only through this ritual, he stated, can souls find peace. This has been my work for years. Pike then remembered his purpose. The doctor meticulously inquired about the mother's symptoms. He then examined several areas of her body manually, lacking diagnostic tools, but reached a grim conclusion. Pike's mother had cancer, likely metastasized to other organs. Pike, unfamiliar with the disease, clung to hope the doctor could cure her. The doctor sighed helplessly, explaining she didn't have long to live. Pike couldn't accept it. Tears welled in his eyes. His mother embraced him tightly, having suspected her illness all along, only awaiting confirmation. She told Pike the doctor couldn't cure her, but could grant her peace. As the doctor raised the tranq arrow, she gave an imperceptible nod. Stricken, Pike's body went limp almost instantly. Everyone faces death, the doctor stated, but their legacy of love endures. The boy realized what was coming and wept uncontrollably. Paralyzed and powerless, he could only watch his mother step into the ritual pyre. He knew she sought release through this act, her form quickly consumed by flames. Tearfully, Pike climbed the skull tower's pinnacle, placing his mother's remains with reverence. At dawn, the Alpha emerged in the distance, closing in. Kells hurried Pike into the cellar. But the Alpha had grown cunning, burrowing through earth to seize Kells. Pike snatched a tranq arrow from Kells' coat. Driving it deep, the beast collapsed instantly. It's time. Kells breathed. Shaken, we leave with the child. 28 years later, in a flash, Pike didn't return to the island, choosing to journey onward, until the coastline vanished from sight. But before departing, he secured the infant at the island's gate, and left a letter for his father. As time passed, Pike's combat skills sharpened, handling multiple zombies alone with ease. During one escape, he encountered peculiar figure who dispatched pursuing zombies with magical, led by the very boy who survived 28 years prior.